and welcome to another exciting floristry tutorial. In this video we're going to be making a super stunning bridal bouquet using sweet peas, thelaspi and matthiola daisies. Now, sweet peas are absolutely gorgeous. They're one of my favourite flowers. I do rarely get them in. I only really do them for weddings and use them for weddings and events because they are quite expensive and they're not the easiest flower to get your hand on. So if you go to your wholesalers and ask, oh, have you got sweet peas, and they don't have any, you have to order them in the UK directly from Holland, or if you're in other countries, I would get in contact with your wholesaler and ask if they can provide you with the sweet peas. So let's get on with the sundries first. So for this tutorial, you're going to need some waterproof floristry tape or pot tape. We then need some ribbon scissors, floristry scissors. Then I've got some ivory satin ribbon here, and the measurements are 25 millimeters times 20 meters. So if you get some in a similar size to this, in a similar colour, it can be white, cream, ivory, you're good to go. Then I have got some pearl pins here. So they can sort of be any size because we're just going to use this to bind the ribbon onto the stems of the bridal bouquet. Now, with our flowers, I have got 40 stems of these lovely white sweet peas. Then I've got 4 stems of thelaspi, and then we have got 8 stems of matthiola daisies. Now this is going to be a lovely country garden, dainty bridal bouquet, and it's so lovely for spring or summer weddings or any other wedding, because you can get these sort of all year round if you can get your hands on them. So anyway, let's get on with the video. I am going to put you on a bird's eye view so you can see everything that I'm doing in detail. So let's get on with it. Here goes. So I have already conditioned all my stems, and when I say condition, it's basically just taking all the excess foliage off the bottoms of the stems, so we get a nice naked stem, so none of our foliage will be showing under the binding point, because you don't want any flowers or foliage that's under the binding point, otherwise there's going to be all foliage showing. The bride's going to have to hold all the foliage in the hand, but you'll see this as we go along. I've also done the same with these, so just make sure there's no foliage under where I've left my foliage, okay? So it's okay to have some at the top, but just leave a length of naked stem. Now with the sweet peas, we haven't had to condition these because they don't have any foliage on them. They're just purely nice, classy flowers, and as you can tell, I am absolutely obsessed. So 40 is going to be the perfect amount to put in these. So I spent about £1 a stem on these sweet peas, and you've got to consider your markup that you put on your flowers. So I times everything by 3. So these are going to be about £3 to £3.50 per stem. So you need to consider this when you are giving your bride or your groom and bride their quote for their big day, okay? Then thelaspi, I brought these for 64p, and these matthiola daisies 79p a stem. So whatever you use, every single stem, times it by your markup. I do it by 3. Okay, then you can add your labour on, and then that will be the cost that you quote your bride or groom. So let's get on with making the bouquet. I'm just going to move my sundries out the way here, and I'm going to start off with one of my sweet peas. Then I'm just going to layer this with one of the daisies. Now I really want to get that spiral shape, so just watch my hands as I go along. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with my first flower straight, and then go in with my second flower at an angle, and that's the angle that's going to happen all the way around. So we're just going to put these in also sporadically as well, so they have some nice gaps and movement in there. You can actually pull your thelaspi apart into more dense units, and then you can go in 2s with the sweet peas, or 3s. I'm going to go in 3s now, and then I'm going to add another stem of daisies in. And you just want to continue this throughout your bouquet. So just make sure that the flowers aren't sort of clumped together, and you are making space for the sweet peas as much as you can, because you want everything to flow nicely together. So if you just watch everything that I'm doing, as you can see, it's going in the spiral shape. So that's my binding point. So that's where my hand is like pretending to be the vase. So if you just think that's how it's going to sit in the vase, then you've got a good idea of how to do it. Now, as you can see, some of my foliage under the binding point is there. So I'm just going to remove these as I go along, because it will help you in the long run. Okay, so then we can just go around doing exactly the same thing. And then I think, because these ones have a lot of heads on each stem, I'm just going to sort of condense them down a little bit. And then I'm going to bunch my sweet peas as I go along, because they are a really small, dainty flower and they are very expensive. So that's why I only use them in events and weddings. If somebody does want to pay extra for them, that is absolutely fine. But I'm not going to buy them to just do an ordinary sort of £30 bouquet, because seriously, it's not worth it. You also have to buy them in packs of 50 or 100. So yeah, you're better off just getting them for a wedding. And even with the bridal bouquet, like, you can charge for the extra sort of stems that you've got as well, because if you're doing this one, you've got to buy them in packs of 50 and you're only using 40 and you've got no other arrangements to put them into. You've got to consider this when giving the quote. So you can say, look, I have to order these in packs of 50, so this is sort of going to be the cost for them. And then that you obviously give the excess sweet peas to your customer, and then it's all fine. I'm going to bunch up my sweet peas now quite a lot and just go around. I'm going to still add in my daisies as well. If you need any more thelaspi, then just put this into the quote as well, but I've used 4 and I think that's lovely because it's all spread out and you don't really need any more, so it's fine. I just like to put a large amount of sweet peas in because they are small and you really want them to stand out because that is the main flower. So the daisies are just acting really as a filler flower, and then the thelaspi for the foliage. So I really want to put a sweet pea here, so we can just feed that through the middle, like so, and then it will go into the spiral. And another one here. Because I don't want my sweet peas to be like gappy because it's the main focus of the bouquet. So they've got to be spread out evenly. And this is just giving lovely cottage garden, white, crisp, classy sort of feel to it. I'm going to feed some more through the middle. I absolutely love this bouquet. If I ever got married, I'd probably want something like this. Okay, then we just got a few more. How gorgeous is this looking? And then we've got our last one, just fluffing it out a bit. So you can shake it like this, just to add some more room and space. And then it's easy to feed your extra stems into. Then you can go around titivating a little bit, like we can move the daisies around, we can pull them to the middle. And then I've got a few stems of thelaspi left, so I'll just put these around the outside of the bouquet. But don't worry if you don't have any thelaspi left, you don't have to do this because it's just gorgeous in itself. So this is quite a simple bouquet to make, but has the most impact. Okay, so there we go, our bouquet is now made. Then I'm going to check that there's no foliage under the binding point, so just going to take those bits off so it looks nice and crisp and fresh. and no foliagey bits making it look ugly. Okay, so there we go, that's perfect. I'm then going to grab my bouquet just here, so just under the binding point like this. Then I'm going to get my waterproof tape, if I can find the end to it. This is always the most annoying bit. Okay, then I'm just going to put the tape where my hands were, so where the binding point was. And then I'm just going to wrap this around a few times, nice and tightly, so your stems don't move. And this is also good for the ribbon as well, because if the ribbon does, it's not going to, but it does sort of come apart, your stems are going to be nice and secure anyway, and the ribbon can easily be mended. Okay, so I'm just going to go up again, like so. Brilliant. Then I'm just going to cut my tape off now. And then I'm just going to trim the bottoms a little bit so it's easy for me to manoeuvre around when I'm putting the ribbon on. I'm just going to make sure my space is nice and clear because we don't want any marks on the ribbon. Okay, brill. Right, so now I'm going to get my satin ribbon. Okay, I'm going to get a length like that. Then I'm going to put it on to the tape like this. Hold it with my thumb here. Twist it to this side. Grab that. Now, there is a purpose why I'm doing this, because it makes it nice and tight and it doesn't come loose. And then we're just going to wrap all the way down. Okay. Oh, I can see some foliage here. Just make sure all those nasty bits are away. Okay, I'm going to wrap it to about here and then go all the way back up again. Just make sure this layer is the neatest, because that's the layer that the bride's going to see. Okay, then I'm just going to cut my ribbon off now, because that's all we need. Then I'm going to fold it into itself like that. Lay it back neatly in line of the layer underneath. I'm going to grab my pins, if I can open them. I'm going to put one at the bottom. Now this can be quite tricky to get in because it's going through all the sticky tape as well. Okay, so one at the bottom here, and then one at the top here. Okay, brilliant. Then what we need to do is cut our stems down nice and evenly. So I'm going to cut my stems about here. Okay, and then if you see like the sweet pea stems, they're quite shorter, so just make sure they're nice and cut at the ends as well. Like got a flat end to them. So then it just looks nice and neat. Okay, I'm going to cut that a bit more like that. Okay, brilliant. Then our stems look like this. Our bouquet is like this. Oh, I am really obsessed. How beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this video was super duper informative. If it was, please give us a like, comment and subscribe if you want to. It really helps our channel grow so I can make more tutorials like this one. And we'll see you in the next one.